And start to breathe here in a way that feels grounding. So maybe you have a little bit more focus on the exhale. Inhale, filling up the back body. And as you exhale, letting everything sort of just roll off, melt off your back. Over the right, and then pressing back strongly through that left sit bone, creating an even deeper stretch through the whole left body. Hands back to center, and then taking it to the other side. So reaching over towards your left, maybe the right hand on top of the left, and then sinking down through the right sit bone again to get a little more length through the right side of the ribs. Good, and then walk your hands forward. We're gonna add a twist to our child's pose, so you have some options here. You can do it without blocks and just like thread the needle, taking the right arm, threading it underneath the left, and then if you'd like a little more height to thread under, you can take a block under that left hand. And trying it on the other side. So again, if you're using the block, kind of pass it over, and then threading that left arm underneath the right and settling in. Good, and then slowly make your way back to your hands and then pull yourself forward to a tabletop. So taking a moment here to readjust so that the knees are directly underneath the hips. Maybe tap out the feet here. Just give them a little bit of an awakening. And then you choose whether you tuck under or keep them the tops of the feet down. And then widen your hands. Maybe take that slight rotation, external rotation of the hand so that the index finger is pointing forward, not the middle finger. And then once you feel like you're in neutral, take a few rounds of cat-cow, nice and easy here. So dropping the belly, sending the heart forward. And then on the exhale, rounding the spine, a lot of movement here from the pelvis. That's really where the movement starts. And so then tilting that tailbone up as you continue to roll forward, scoop the heart up, and exhale around. Good. And take 3 more just like that, following the pace of your own breath. Good. Pausing here. And then we're going to take thread the needle. So very similar to what we just did in child's pose. This time reaching the right arm up. And as you exhale, once again, threading underneath, dropping all the way to the right shoulder, right ear. Since your hips are lifted here, if you'd like to modify, you can bring a block underneath the right ear. That just brings the ground a little closer to you. Slowly make your way back to your tabletop. And we're going to switch sides. So sending that left arm high and then threading it underneath the right until the left shoulder, left ear connect to the floor, or maybe your left ear lands on a block. Good. Slowly make your way back to your tabletop. Move the block off to the side if you were using it. Good. We're going to move into cow down dog. So inhale for your cow pose. And this time on the exhale, begin to engage the core. Lift the knees and send the hips up and back into your first down dog. Hold here for a few breaths, maybe pedaling out through the feet, shaking the head, maybe playing around with the foundation here. So try maybe a wider stance. How does that feel in the body? Maybe wider with the hands, creating a little more space around the neck and shoulders. Good. And then pause here. We're going to add a little twist. So make sure the weight is back towards your feet. So bending those knees generously and really sending the belly towards the thighs. And then see if you can free your right hand and bring it to meet the left ankle or shin bone, kind of looking up into your left armpit. And then taking it back to the mat so you can try it on the other side. Freeing that left hand and seeing if you can connect to the right foot, heel, ankle. And then make your way back to your down dog. Big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. On the next inhale, drop the knees back to that cow pose. Exhale back to downward facing dog. We'll flow through that 2 more times. Inhale, dropping the knees, following that momentum forward. And exhale, rounding, sink the hips back. Last one. And down dog. Good. Bring your feet a little closer together. And then we're going to try twisting, but bringing the heels down to each side. So maybe starting with the right. So dropping both heels to the right and then lifting back on the toe mounts and heels to the left. And again, this is a time to be playful. So see what feels good, where you feel the twist. Good. Maybe one more time on each side. Come back to your down dog. Peek forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Find a nice deep forward fold here. So really soften. So knees are nice and bent. Deep hip hinge here. So imagine the sit bones reaching high as you fold the upper body onto your legs. See if you can relax the head even more. Okay, so crown of the head is kind of dangling directly down onto the mat. And then you can add some movement here. So maybe shaking the head, yes and no, or maybe even swaying the whole upper body. And then root down through your feet. Strong foundation here. Start lifting up one vertebra at a time. Lifting the shoulders all the way up towards the ears. And then as you exhale, relaxing them down. Tadasana. Opening the palms to face forward so the heart opens up. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. Grab onto that left wrist and gently lift up and to the right. Come back to center. Switch sides, sending that right wrist up and to the left. Back to center. Bring hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers here. Bend the knees a little bit more as you squeeze elbows and shoulders. Lift the heart, leading with the collarbones. And then see if you can fold forward, keeping the bind. Again, bending the knees and hinging at the hips here. And again, relaxing head and neck. Good. Sweep your fingertips down so that they graze the mat. That's how low you are. And then maybe lift up all 10 toes. So you're really rooting down through the big toe mound, little toe mound. Imagine you are ripping your mat apart so that you engage the glutes and then sweep up into your fierce pose or chair pose. Make sure you can still see your toes. So knees are not forward of the toes, they're behind the toes. Pull the belly button up and in, maybe broaden the shoulders here by taking the arms wider. Take another big breath in and fold forward. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Good. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Plank pose. Hold here in plank just for a moment, just to make sure you have the right alignment. So you're pushing away from the mat with your hands, creating a broader upper back, hugging the belly button in so we're not sagging the hips down. Heels are stacked over the toes. Good. And then drop your knees, same alignment, you're just on your knees. Untuck the toes, lower all the way down, bending the elbow tips back. Good. Inhale for cobra here. So peeling the heart forward and up. Exhale, lower. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, peeling the heart forward and up. And lower. 1 more. And lower. Great. Make your way back to a tabletop. And then downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep the right leg up and back, not too high. Keep those hips even. Draw the right knee in towards your nose. Step it forward. And then drop your left knee. And this might be a great place to find blocks. I'm just going to take a few moments to open up through the left hip flexor, right leg. So hold here, scoop the heart forward, relaxing the tips of the shoulder blades down and back. And then slowly extend that right leg. Any amounts, you can keep a little bend in the right knee, sinking the hips back and maybe flexing through the right toes or pointing or moving back and forth. And usually when we're trying to stretch the legs, we're thinking heart forward instead of rounding for nose to knee. So it's almost like chest to toes. Good. Slowly start bending back into that right knee. Go ahead and take the arms up into your anjali low lunge here. Soften through the shoulders, and we're going to add a twist. Option 1 is to take the arms out wide as you twist towards your right knee. Option 2 is bringing hands to heart center and taking a prayer twist. So left elbow to the outer right knee. And then you're going to press one palm against the other to lift the middle of your chest towards the thumbs. So if this does not feel like you can breathe in this shape, take the other variation. They're both just as beneficial. One more breath. Inhale, sweep those arms up high. And then bring the hands back down. We're going to step it back, downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet here. Adding some movement. And then pause. We'll take that on the other side. Send the left leg high. Towards your nose, hug it in, hug it in, hug it in. Step it forward, drop your right knee. Find those blocks and shift your hips forward to the extent that feels good for your body. So we're never, going right into 100% of our flexibility. We're kind of maybe 70% and then easing our way in with the breath. Good, and then slowly sending those hips back, straightening through that left leg any amount, maybe flexing through the left toes or pointing or both. Good, and then slowly start bending back into that left knee and sweeping the arms up. Softening through the shoulders here. Adding the twist, option 1. Taking the arms out nice and wide as you twist the upper body towards your left. Option 2 is hands to heart. Right elbow to the outer left knee, pressing palm against palm so that you bring the middle of your chest towards your thumbs. Trying to keep the back of the head in line with your spine, right? So we're not kind of letting the neck or the head do weird things. It's just a natural extension of the spine here. Good, and then slowly frame your foot with your hands, step it back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Send your right leg up and back. Draw the right knee in your nose, step it forward, find your blocks. We're going to take this to long pyramid or runner's lunge. So taking the blocks probably in the highest level, we're going to start straightening through that right leg and then see if you can maybe lift a little bit so that we're not really deeply rounding the spine, just to try it. And then with a flat back, see if you can draw the right hip back, left hip slightly forward. Notice my left heel is lifted a little bit, and that's probably going to be happening, and that's okay. Now bend back into that right knee, lift the left heel to stack over the left toe mounds, and then sweep up into a strong high crescent lunge. Breathe here. Good. Twisting here. So either opening the arms out wide or taking your prayer twist. And of course, you have the option of dropping that left knee down. Inhale back into your high lunge and then step it back. Plank pose. So we're stepping to plank and flowing through vinyasa. Dropping the knees down, untucking toes, lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale for one cobra pose. Exhale, lower. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. And once again, pedal out through the feet here. Shake it out. Give your body some nice full breaths to clear out. And then finding a bit of stillness here. Send the left leg up and back. Draw the towards your nose, step it through, find your blocks. We're going to straighten through that left leg and then see what it would feel like to come up to a flat back, squaring through the hips. And then from there, you can choose to stay here or trying to keep belly connected to thigh, maybe round a little. Good, bend back into that left knee, stacking it right over that left ankle, and then sweep the arms up, finding your strong high crescent, pressing down through the right toe mounds, heel over the toe mounds. Shoulders stacked over the hips, belly button plugged in. And then adding our twist, opening the arms out wide, or taking our prayer twist. Good. Inhale those hands back up. As you exhale, hands down, step it back to your plank pose. Drop your knees. Lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale for cobra. Downward facing dog. Good. Big breath in. Big breath out. Soften those knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Once again, finding that deep forward fold. So feet are at least hip width distance, knees are generously bent. And then maybe interlace your hands, place them behind your head Adding a little weight here to help you traction down the neck, only if it feels good. Up, standing. Sweep the arms up high. On the exhale, bring them back behind you. Interlace fingers. Soften the knees as you draw the fist down. Lift the heart. Take your fold with the bind. Now drop those fingertips down so they graze the mat. So staying nice and low, lifting the arms up for chair pose. Take another breath in. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank. Does not matter which foot you start with. And then yogi's choice, knees up or down as you lower. Upward facing dog if the back feels good and ready, or cobra. And then downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Right leg up and back. Good. Draw the right knee in towards your nose. Step it forward. High lunge. Adding the twist, either open arms or prayer twist. Inhale back to your high lunge. Exhale, hands down, step it back to plank. Again, vinyasa. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Send the left leg up and back. Draw the left knee in towards the nose. Hug it in. Step it forward. High lunge. Taking your twist however you'd like. Towards the left. Inhaling back to center. Reach up. Take it back to plank. Vinyasa. Knees up or down. Know that you can always skip a vinyasa. Take a few breaths in child's pose or down dog. Good. From here, soften the knees. Look forward. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Come all the way up to standing. Sweep the arms up high. Hands to heart. Take 3 breaths here in your strong mountain pose. Rooting down through the feet, lengthening up through the crown of the head. And here we go. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, bring them back behind you. Interlace fingers, lift the heart, and melt. Allow fingertips to graze the mat. Come up into your chair pose, fierce pose. And then soften, fold forward. Halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, step back to your plank pose. Again, you know you can skip this if you'd like. Dropping down into your chaturanga with knees up or down. Moving through your back bend of choice and meeting me in down dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Right leg up and back. Good. This time the right knee towards the left elbow. So adding that twisting motion. Sending it straight back. Good. Knee to nose. Step it through. Little different here. We're going to pivot that left foot down for warrior 2 feet. And then once you feel stable, lifting all the way up into warrior 2. And then refining the pose once you're here. So we build the pose from the ground up. Make sure your front knee is, heel is bisecting your back arch, or you can do heel to heel alignment. Right knee is over the right ankle. Shoulders are stacked over the hips. Soften through the face, clenching your mouth. It's not going to help you. Flip that right palm up and back, reversing the warrior. Good. Find your extended side angle here, either the right forearm to the right thigh, or you're welcome to use a block. And then sending the left arm straight up first, giving yourself a little sense of lift. And then if you'd like to bring it forward over the left ear, you can do that. Good. Open back up to warrior two, and then straighten through that right leg. So we're going to move to trikonasana, triangle pose from here. Just reach forward, hips slightly back, and then you tilt down. This is not about getting lower to the ground. So maybe bring your right hand to rest lightly on your right shin, or my preference, a block. And then again, add that sense of lift as you reach up through the left fingertips, finding length in the spine. Taking one more breath here, in and out. Good, and then softening through the right knee. We're gonna pivot to wide-legged forward fold. So taking that left arm down, pivot right foot parallel to the left, and release. From here, we're not gonna linger too much. We're gonna lift all the way into a flat back, and then start taking our twists. So take the right hand to the sacrum to keep the hips nice and even, and then start rolling that right shoulder up towards the ceiling. So keeping the spine long, think crown of the head away from the tailbone, then add the twist. Good, and then release it back down, other side, left hand to the sacrum, and walk back towards your right foot. So everything pivots to the top of your mat, and then you step it back to plank if you'd like to flow, or right into down dog if you'd rather skip it. And we'll move towards the other side here. Once you get to your down dog, big breath in, big breath out. Send that left leg up and back. Draw the left knee, shift forward to plank, and then sending it high. Knee to nose, step it through. Pause, pivot the right foot down, warrior 2 feet, and then lift yourself back up. And then take a moment to make sure you landed in the right place. Sometimes we don't land where we want to be, and it's better to take that moment to adjust. Relaxing the shoulders, looking over that front left hand, flip front palm, reverse the warrior, and find your version of extended side angle. So maybe left forearm, left thigh, right arm reaches high. Maybe you use a block inside of the left foot. And then maybe you take that right arm and reach it up and over. When you do that, you're finding this nice long line of energy all down the right side of the body. So think right heel extending away from the right fingertips. Good. Slowly make your way back to warrior 2. Straighten through that left leg. Trikonasana, tilting slightly forward and then reaching down. Again, either very lightly touching the left shin or using a block for a little more support. Should be able to breathe in this pose and really in all poses. Good. Coming to our wide-legged forward fold. So soften through that left knee as you roll down and pivot the left foot parallel to the right. From here, we're going to take another type of twist. You're going to take the left hand, connect it to the right ankle. See if you can, make that connection, that bind. And then from here, twisting, either right hand reaches high, or right hand can come to the sacrum. Good, release that. Try it on the other side. So now the right hand reaches for the left ankle. So whole upper body moves towards the left. And then you reach up with that left hand, or maybe hand to the sacrum as you take your twist. Good, and then release that back down. And then walk your way towards your left foot, so facing the front of your mat again. Good. Stepping back to plank or straight into downward facing dog. Your choice. It's your practice. You decide what serves you. That is what makes you an advanced yogi. Not doing more advanced or more challenging variations. Soften the knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Find your forward fold here. Come all the way up to standing. Sweep the arms up high and bring your hands to heart center. Good. So from here, adding a little bit of balance. So we're going to shift the weight over to the left and then pick up your right knee about 90 degrees, flexing through the right foot. We're going to add our twist. So left hand to the outer right knee and then start opening up right hand towards the back of the room. Good. Come back to center. Keep your knee lifted, hands to heart. You're going to step or not step. You're going to swing the right heel back for warrior three. So you're hinging at the hips here, keeping them nice and even. Tendencies for that right hip to lift. And then keeping a little bit of a lift in the heart. So it's almost like you're doing a back bend, but not with the chin. Good. And then slowly step it back into your high lunge. Ooh. Good. Open the arms out as you twist towards your left. And then drop the right hand down for your easy twist. Inside of the left foot, finding that lizard pose here. A deep stretch through the right hip flexor, maybe dropping the right knee and untucking the right toes. Maybe keeping it lifted. You can also use blocks underneath your forearms here. And slowly start coming out of that. Wiggling that left foot back towards the center and then stepping forward, forward fold at the top of your mat. Slowly come all the way up. Sweep the arms up high. Hands to heart. And we balance on the other side. So shifting the weight over towards your right foot. Pick up your left knee, about 90 degrees here, flexing through the left toes. Right hand to the outer left knee. Reach back with the left hand. Slowly returning hands to heart. And then mindfully kicking back through that left heel so that there's still a sense of lift in the heart and you're hinging right at the hips here so the hips remain even. And then slowly, as gracefully as possible, stepping that left foot back, sweeping the arms up, high crescent lunge, twist towards your right with the arms wide open, and then slowly lower into your easy twist here. Good. Right hand down inside of the right foot. You can wiggle the right foot out a bit. And then drop your left knee if you'd like for lizard pose. And again, choosing the variation that works for you, maybe using the blocks, maybe staying lifted on the palms. And then wiggle that right foot back where it was before. So you can step forward with the left foot, fold at the top of your mat. And while you're here, just notice where your blocks are. I think having one or maybe even two would be really helpful for our next pose. So just bring those towards the very top of your mat. Probably highest level. And I think it's actually just one that we're going to use. Anyway, start rolling all the way back up. Sweeping the arms up high. hands to heart. All right, so we're going to start in our same balancing pose here, shifting the weight to the left, picking up the right knee, flexing through the right toes, and taking our twist. We're going to come back to center. Again, find warrior 3. And then from here, we're going to take it to revolved half moon. So basically, we're twisting towards the left. And I find the easiest way to do that, or the steadiest way to do that, is to drop the right hand down to a block. Then maybe send the left hand to the sacrum to make sure you're not doing something weird with the hips here. And then slowly see if you can rotate. Keep engaging the right glute, sending that right leg high. Maybe the left arm lifts. And I know it's a lot. So whenever you're ready to come out of it, simply step forward and release. Slowly lift back up. And try it on the other side and then start cooling down. So sweeping the arms up high, hands to heart. All right, so shifting the weight over to the right, picking up the left knee, and then taking your twist. So right hand to the outer left knee, reaching back. Coming back to center, finding a drishti, a point of focus, and then start kicking back through your left heel for your warrior 3. And then very mindfully taking this into the revolved half moon. So taking the left hand down to your block. It's most helpful if it's below your shoulder, right? And then right hand to the sacrum. And then start adding the twist while continuing to use the left glute to kick up through that left heel, maybe reaching the right arm up. And then slowly make your way back down. And you can thank me as you feel those muscles for the rest of the week. All right, so from here, we're going to take it down to a seat. So let's keep it simple by just dropping down to a seat, scooting back so you have lots of room in front of you for your legs, and then give your legs a little wiggle here. And this already is a pose. This is staff pose, keeping the spine really nice and straight like you were a letter L. Maybe moving around, taking the flesh from the sit bone so you can really connect down. Good. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then hug the right knee in towards you. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Take the right foot, cross it over the left. Take the right hand behind you. Nice straight elbow here if possible, just to keep the spine long. Sweep up with the left, and then take your twist. So left elbow to the right, outer right knee, and hold. Good. We're going to untwist the upper body. And then you're going to bend your left knee and send the left heel towards your right glute. And then we're going to actually roll forward. There's other ways to come into this shape. So if once you figure out where I'm going, if you'd rather get into it a different way, that's totally fine. I'm going to shift forward so that I can really cross that right knee over the left and take my feet out in opposite directions. I'm also going to grab a block because that's way easier for me to sit back down on a block. So eventually, and very mindfully, we're going to sink back down. So you're stacking the knees. A very deep hip opener or hip stretch. If you want to intensify it, you can actually gently nudge your feet even more forward. Not an option for me. And then we're going to take the elbow of the knee that's in the bottom, so the left elbow, and you're going to reach it up and bend. And then maybe take the bind. For me, in this side, the bind doesn't quite work out. And so I'm just going to energetically reach fingertips towards each other and send the heart up as I lift through the crown of the head, trying to keep the sit bones rooted and enjoying, to the best of my ability, the deep stretch in my legs. Two more breaths here. And then release the hands, maybe shifting your way forward, and then kind of unwinding however you'd like here. There's just really no super elegant way to come out of this. I want you to come back to a seat with the legs forward for the other side. So once you root down, wiggle out a little bit through the knees. Find your staff pose. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Hug your left knee in towards you, wrapping the hands around the shin bone. Again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then stepping that left foot over towards the right. Make sure your whole foot is down, so you're not kind of just on the edge here. And then left hand behind you. Sweep up through the right hand. And then take your twist when you're ready. Right elbow to the outer left knee. Slowly unwinding the upper body. You're going to bend that right knee so that it reaches towards the left glute. And then shift forward so you can really get that left knee stacked over the right, feet out in opposite directions. Find your block. And again, very mindfully sinking back down. If you feel any acute pain in the knees, this is just not a pose that serves you, right? It's not that you can't do it, but there's really no benefit. So you can try lots of different variations. So the easiest one, I think, is coming onto your back and then threading the needle or creating that figure 4. So don't feel like this is your only option. Once the lower body is situated, we're going to reach that right arm up, bend through the right elbow, and then reach behind you with the left hand and see if the bind is available to you here. So we often have a more flexible side. So for me, this is actually totally achievable. And on the other side, no chance. It's got a lot to do with just the shoulder mobility, flexibility. And if you're enjoying the stretch in the legs, but the arms aren't really working for you, again, you don't have to take this variation. We practice yoga to nourish the body, not to punish the body in any way. Good, and then slowly releasing the arms, shifting again your weight forward, moving the block out from beneath you if you were using it. And again, however you want to sort of unwind here, coming back onto your sit bones, and then this time rolling all the way back onto the mat. And give yourself a few moments here, relaxing, shoulder blades down, palms facing up in a gesture of receiving. So think of receiving the benefits of your practice. If we just rush right out, then we don't really get to absorb, right, everything that we've cultivated over the last 60 minutes through movement and breath. On your next inhale, draw the right knee in towards you. Give it a nice big squeeze. Extend the left leg out long. We're going to take a supine twist. If you prefer to have both knees bent, you're welcome to do that. If you're taking the one knee variation, keep bringing the knee in towards you with the left hand, right arm out to the right, and then use your left hand to guide your knee across the body for your twist. And maybe you'll find that a little support underneath the right knee would be helpful. So you can find a block or a pillow and place that underneath your right knee. Slowly begin to bring yourself back onto your back. Draw both knees in towards you. Give yourself a nice squeeze and just rock side to side. And then keep bringing that left knee in towards you as you extend the right leg out long. We'll take the twist on the other side. So left arm out to the left. And when you're ready, bringing that left knee across the body. Again, maybe using a block, I'll show you, underneath that left knee so that the left shoulder can maybe stay more rooted. Slowly start bringing yourself back to center. One more time, hugging the knees in towards your chest. Rocking side to side. And then deciding if there's any other movement, stretch, pose you'd like to take before Shavasana. So if that's the case, take about 5 to 8 full breaths in your last pose. And whenever you are ready to join us in Shavasana, you can extend the legs out long. Maybe grab an eye pillow, maybe grab a blanket for a little bit more grounding. Maybe something rolled up under the knee creases. Or maybe you take a legs up the wall. So whatever it is, take it and then commit fully to stillness. Anchoring the mind on the breath. If it starts to wander, simply bring it back. Following the path of the inhale and the exhale. Feeling a sense of expansion and lightness as the breath comes in. And release, surrender as you exhale. And begin to deepen your breath here. And slowly invite movement back to the body, wiggling fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, shaking the head side to side, maybe opening and closing the jaw. Eventually taking a full body stretch, breathing into all that space you've created. Big clearing exhale. And roll to your right or left side. There's no rush. Maybe noticing the physical effects of your practice. Taking the time here to acknowledge yourself for setting aside 60 minutes just for you. And when you're ready, with as little effort as possible, bring yourself back to a comfortable seat. Root down through the sit bones. Let the shoulder blades relax. Reach up nice and tall through the crown of the head. You want the back of the head in line with the spine, so we're not jutting the chin forward. And then hands can either rest at the thighs or they can rest at heart center in Anjali mudra. Thank you all so much for sharing your energy, your presence, your practice with me. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste.